For this video, I'm going to show you how to make the diamond cut. Now I know that sounds fancy, but it's not that complicated. We're going to revert back to our thinking of the pie cut. Remember where we cut a little bit of the nose off so we could get a straight angle without having too flimsy of an end to pre-wrap? We're going to follow that similar guideline, but here we're going to want to cut a piece large enough off of this triangular piece of cheese to sell. So our goal here is, where cutting for a pie cut, remember it's just a little bit of the nose for to sample. Here, we're going to sell this piece. So that's going to be really our only difference. But of course, before we get to any of that, we've got to take this Fontal out of the plastic. So we'll need to put on our cut glove, use our paring knife, and just like the holidays or Christmas, we'll rip into that until we get this Fontal. So here, we'll place this Fontal onto the cutting board. And again, we're looking at a big enough a piece of the nose to sell without going too far into the cheese. And for this, you'll see that I'm using my hand to really direct the wire into the cheese. This is a softer cheese, so it's going to go in a little bit easier. So here, I feel like this is going to be a big enough piece, about 1/2 pound to sell. So you'll see that I'm putting my hand over the wire and my thumb onto the nose so I can hold this cheese firm while I'm pulling the wire through it. Nice and easy. So you'll see here, this is a great piece to sell. This is a nice centerpiece, the most delicious. Save that for your favorite customers. Now you'll see that we have a great straight edge that we can start cutting and getting even pre-cuts from. So like the rest, we're going to put the rind towards us, and we're going to pull the wire all the way through, straight down the middle, and cut this cheese in half. And again, hold the cheese steady with one hand and pull through with the other. And you'll notice that this one has a little bit of the paper coming with it. We just want to make sure that when we cut through the cheese and before we wrap it for pre-cuts, that none of that paper ends up on the face of the cheese. It being slightly sliced on top, that does not matter. So we're going to continue through, and with this one, we're just going to go half, 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 and half until we end up with all the pre-cuts we need, because you'll see that each of these pieces are roughly 1 pound, and again, 1/2 pound is a great size for a pre-cut. So we're going to keep cutting that in half, and half, and of course this one. 2 more great pre-cuts. And on this end, we're going to do it the same way, but I'm going to flip this over so you can see this edge of the rind. With the rind facing towards me, pull straight through in half. And again, this is roughly 1 pound, maybe a little bit more, so we're going to cut that in half. And we'll pre-cut this one. And you'll see this paper comes off. That's natural, that happens. We just get rid of it. Just make sure it's not on the cheese at the very end. And we're cutting that piece in half. And you'll see here, beautiful 1/4 wheel of Fontal pre-cut. When wrapping a piece from the diamond cut, of course it's similar to wrapping basically any other piece of cheese. We want to make sure that we're minimizing, you'll see our air pockets, we want to minimize that, make sure that there's no torn or ripped plastic, and make sure that all the bunching is happening on one side. This is where your scale label will go, and where applicable, this is where your pre-pack label will go.